Okay, today I'm going to read you one of my favorite little stories called NotNorman, a goldfish story. And it's written by somebody named Kelly Bennett, not related to me, and illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. Has really cute pictures. When I got Norman, I didn't want to keep him. I wanted a different kind of pet. Not Norman. So there's Mom and Dad all excited about the gift. And then there he is with Norman. He does not look that enthusiastic, right? I wanted a pet who could run and catch, or one who could climb trees and chase strings. A soft furry pet to sleep on my bed at night. Not Norman. All Norman does is swim around and 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 around. This is it, Norman, I decide. I'm trading you for a good pet. Norman doesn't move. Not even a fin twitches. How can I treat him like this? No one will want a sorry-looking fish in a gunky bowl. When I drop Norman into his nice clean bowl, he starts dipping and flipping, flapping his fins around. He looks so goofy, I have to laugh. Don't think that just because you made me laugh, I'm going to keep you, I tell him. Tomorrow, you're out of here. Norman blows a stream of bubbles. The next day, I take Norman to school with me. If I talk him up real good during show and tell, maybe someone will want him. On the way there, we see my friend Austin. Austin has a real cool dog and 7 puppies. Want to swap one of your pups for Norman? I ask. Who's Norman? Asks Austin. My goldfish, I say. By the time I rescue Norman, half his water is gone. So there are all the puppies. And now look what happened when Norman is there in the wagon. Yeah, the puppies are drinking all his water. I'm sorry, I tell Norman when we get to school. I'm really sorry. He just stares at me all googly-eyed. Finally, it's my turn to show and tell. Just as I start to talk about goldfish, Emily shouts, "Jenny's gone! Who let my snake loose?" So there he is. And you see how he's putting water from the water fountain into the fish bowl? You have to put special stuff in the fish bowl so that water from the water fountain won't hurt the fish. So if you have fish at home, don't add just straight water from the water fountain or the sink. You have to add some extra stuff in there to get rid of the chemicals. I'm sure he already did that, but I'm just telling you. And look, there's what it looks like during show and tell when the little girl realizes that her pet snake is missing. Uh-oh. Does anyone hear the story of how I got Norman? Does anyone even ask to hold his bowl? No. They're all jumping and screaming and chasing the snake. Not Norman. He's looking right at me. Thanks for listening, I tell him. So there's what the class looks like. And then look. Norman's looking right at him. That afternoon, we go to my music lesson. As soon as it's over, I'm taking Norman back to the pet store. I take out my tuba and begin to play. Bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, ba. I glance over at Norman. He's swaying back and forth. Glug, 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 he mouths. Look, Norman's singing, I say. Pay attention, snaps Maestro, and try to play the proper notes. So there he is with music. And there's Norman blowing his bubbles to the tuba. Maestro makes me stay for extra practice. By the time my lesson is over, it's too late to go to the pet store. Don't think that just because you like my music, I'm going to keep you, I tell Norman. He glugs. So there he is walking home after sunset. He's got Norman in the wagon. That night, I'm sound asleep when screech, screech. What's that noise? Scratch, 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 screech. Yikes, there's something at the window. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I spot Norman. He isn't scared. He isn't swimming around in circles either. He glugs and gives me a little wave. I'm not really alone. Together, Norman and I slide open the curtains. It was just a broken tree branch. Thanks for watching out for me, Norman. On Saturday, I take Norman to the pet store, just like I said I would. I look at the cats and dogs and snakes and birds. I look at the hamsters and the mice and the lizards too. They all look like good pets, but they are not Norman. When I got Norman, I wasn't sure I wanted to keep him. But now, even if I could pick any pet in the whole world, I wouldn't trade him. Not Norman. Oh, look, there he is playing the tuba. And look, he's got a big aquarium for Norman. And do you see the little sign he made on top? It says, Norman, one amazing fish. So Norman turned out to be a pretty good friend and pet, didn't he? Okay, thanks.